analysts. Welcome back to FinTech, where money meets systems. In today's episode, it's all about cards, code, and clearinghouses, how money actually moves. When a customer taps a card, it feels instant, but behind the tap is orchestration. Card payments travel from merchant systems to a processor, through a card network to the issuing bank, then back with an approval. Authorization happens in seconds. Settlements happen later. That difference matters.
Alright, this is what business-to-business payments actually look like when you strip away the apps and the logos. It's a system. Let's walk through it quickly. Step 1. The buyer places an order for a product or service. That's the commercial event. Step 2. The seller sends an invoice. Now we've moved from conversation to obligation. There's an amount due, a deadline, terms. But step 3, this is the most important part of the entire framework. This is where money meets systems. The buyer provides payment method and information. Cash, ACH, credit or debit card, wire transfer, paper check, even cryptocurrency. This step determines the rail. And the rail determines speed, cost, risk, reconciliation complexity, fraud exposure, as well as compliance requirements. Card rails behave differently than ACH rails. Wire transfers behave differently than card authorizations. And bank transfers behave differently than merchant acquiring flows. Everything downstream is dictated by this choice. Step 4 is processing. The seller processes the invoice, captures payment, or sets up recurring payments. But processing only works effectively if step 3, the payment method selection, is architected correctly. So analysts, advisors, don't just look at the invoice, look at the rail. Because in financial technology, the workflow is simple. The infrastructure underneath it is not.
There are two major rails to understand. Card networks, fast real-time authorization. An automated clearinghouse, or better known as ACH, batch-based bank-to-bank transfers. ACH powers payroll, bill pay, and direct deposits. Platforms like Square enable merchants to accept payments. Plaid connects apps securely to bank data. PaySign specializes in ACH-based disbursements and prepaid solutions. Different tools, same goal. Move money securely and reliably.
Now, let's connect the blueprint to real infrastructure. We start at the merchant layer. This is Lightspeed. Lightspeed sits at the point of sale layer. It's where businesses manage inventory, accept payments, and initiate transactions. When a customer taps a card or enters payment details, the transaction begins here. But Lightspeed isn't the rail. It hands the transaction to the network. That brings us to Visa. Visa operates one of the largest card networks in the world. It authorizes, clears, and settles transactions between issuing banks and acquiring banks. Right alongside it is MasterCard. Same concept, global card network infrastructure. When you swipe or tap, these networks move the authorization requests in milliseconds. But where do the banks come in? That's where companies like Fiserv operate. Fiserv provides core banking infrastructure, payment processing, and merchant acquiring systems. They power the back-end systems many financial institutions rely on. Now, let's talk connectivity. Plaid connects applications to bank accounts. Instead of manually entering routing and account numbers, users securely link their bank. Plaid doesn't move the money. It enables access to the account data and permissions required to initiate the movement. Then we move to bank-to-bank transfers. Zelle. Zelle operates inside participating banks for near real-time transfers between accounts. This is ACH and banking infrastructure working in a consumer-facing wrapper. Finally, PaySign. PaySign specializes in prepaid and program-based payment solutions, corporate payouts, healthcare disbursements, incentive programs. It's a more specialized rail, but still part of the ecosystem. So, when we zoom out, Lightspeed is the merchant entry point. Visa and MasterCard are card networks. Fiserv powers banking infrastructure. Plaid enables connectivity. Zelle moves bank-to-bank funds. And PaySign supports specialized disbursement programs. Different layers, different roles, one system. And as analysts and advisors, the goal isn't to memorize logos. It's to understand the architecture underneath them. Because every payment is a workflow, and every workflow runs on rails.
Payment systems are not just transactions, they're trust pipelines. If you understand the flow, input, authorization, clearing, settlement, you understand modern commerce. Next, we move from movement to measurement. I'm Raheem Kareem. This is FinTech, where money meets systems.